welcome this week's edition of Revved Up. We continue talking the motor world. We continue taking you through activities that involve machines that are run by the engine. I'm Andrew Kabura, welcoming you to a show that also today helps you get a car from the bone, gets you a couple of driving tips as well, and gives you all sorts of advice. Plus, more importantly, taking you through the specs of the big machine we have on this show this very week. It's a beautiful one, trust me. Beautiful machine, but we shall talk about it later on the show on Road Review. For now, let's get this week's edition of Revved Up on the road.
On this edition of Revved Up, every seasoned driver has had their fair share of breakdowns, accidents and mishaps. So how do we prepare for the inevitable? Here are a few basic tools every driver should have in their car. A car jack is very important to keep handy in case of blowouts while on the road. When changing the tire, we'll also need a wheel wrench for removing the car's lug nuts. This is an essential tool for every car owner. A flashlight may be a lifesaver if you happen to break down at night or need to take a look under your car. A couple of car spanners and a screwdriver set can help you quickly repair small car problems such as a loose battery terminal, slipped hose clamp, or anything else that needs tightening. Nobody likes the sound of a dead battery, so keep a pair of jumper cables nearby to get you back on the road and on the way to a replacement. Finally, make sure you always carry a spare tire. Sticky situations are a part of driving, but with these tools in your car, you'll be well equipped to handle them.
All right, so on this week's Revved Up, I've got Uganda's Chris Brown. Well, the poor man's version of Chris Brown.
The starved version. I'm the starved guy. The guy who eats on Fridays and just in the afternoon, not the whole day on Friday. So Chris Brown, if you're watching Revved Up,
This is the guy.
yeah, I'm here. I'm your boy.
Alex, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, thank you very much for coming.
A pleasure. It's
Really
always a pleasure.
appreciate.
Yeah.
I want us to talk about your car, the Muchiga's car, but also I want us to first talk about Alex Muhangi himself.
Before I became a stand-up comedian, you know, I was doing like my day job. I went to school. I did sound engineering. I'm a music producer by profession. So when I left Fenton and opened up my own master's music, I wanted to keep the game rolling because people kept coming to me wanted to do songs, jingles, ads and stuff like that. And I said, why not? So my day job, I wake up in the morning 7:30 a.m. I'm at master's music in Bukoto and I'm killing it. And lucky enough, the comedy job does not demand me to show up at 9 a.m. Maybe if I need to travel and I'm out of the country, and that's on a rare occasion. But that's my day job, that's how I call it. Then in the evening, I go to comedy store, I go to Laughters, and I do my thing.
Good stuff, man. He's making a lot of money. I can tell you that for a fact. Let's talk about your car now. You drive a Mark II. For starters, he's just told me that you modified the engine. Tell us about that first.
Okay, now what I did with this car, it's not just a Mark II. It's a 2007 sport version of Mark II Grand. So when I met it, when I was buying it, they gave me an offer. They said, we can pimp it up. I'm like, what can you do? It's like, we can work on the engine and make it much faster so that it picks faster than any other. It's a stick one, so I'm like, cool, do that. And they did the magic because I compared it with another car that I met. I actually do not understand the exact technique, whatever the technical term they did to the car, but I know it runs faster and it picks right away. This car is a 2.5. And you know, with the level of fuel, regardless, we have oil, but our levels are still up there. So I wouldn't advise someone buying a car for the first time to go for this. There's many other cars you can start with. And you know, when you buy a car for the first time, there are things you need to first get used to, like, you know, dropping off people, or like fuel being too much, because every time you buy a car, you know, you always spending every day on kafuta and stuff. So I would advise another car, not this one. Then it's very fast. Another thing, if you're learning how to drive and you see it go fast, you never know, you could accelerate the more. So I would advise you start with another car. Let's say like the Toyota Alex, Premio, those ones, like they would be very nice. Or you buy a border because when it rains it can bang you, and then you think, just move step by step. That's all I can say. But this one I wouldn't ask anyone to start with, because it's somewhere. It's after you've reached somewhere, like, all right, now I need comfort, I need speed, I need when you can control yourself. But when you're learning, I would advise you use these other cars, like premium stuff. I wouldn't tell someone go buy an expensive car because you can't afford the parts, you can't afford, so just keep it natural, keep it here.
Alex Muhangi.
Yes, sir.
Please say bye to us in Ruchiga. Please say bye to us in Ruchiga.
Abantu mwana mwentu waparamusa mwebale kureba REVVED pu wabo ine motoka ya urondogu mwana aisha kutere bibuzo kimwe na bibiri. REVVED is the place to be. My name is Alex Muhangi. Mugumeho.
All right, hope you've enjoyed our celebrity for the week. Let's now take you to the future. And of course, this segment is very much powered by Shell V-Power. And also, the only advice we can give you from REVVED is to make sure you use Shell V-Power, because it will optimize your engine's performance. You will feel the happiness from your engine, and definitely you will enjoy your experience with Shell V-Power as well. Let's now move to the future.
Futuristic vehicles, brought to you by Shell V-Power. Chrome-plated grills of fine glossy finish, plush leather lining every inch of the interior, a digital media receiver. All this is nothing without performance. A great set of wheels is only as good as the engine powering it, and coursing through every great engine are the world's finest motor oils.
It's all about the engine.
Whatever you drive, whatever the condition, we have the right motor oil for your engine. Visit any Shell service station near you and choose the right oil for your engine. Shell Motor Oils, because it's all about the engine.
It's all about the engine.
It seems that most of the leading car brands have turned their attention from mainstream fuel-powered engines to the exciting new world of electric motor cars that are increasingly self-sufficient. In 2011, Nissan unveiled the Pivo 3, a three-seater hatchback concept with incredible mobility and intelligence. This tiny car is less than 3 meters long, but has the ability to make a U-turn within a 4-meter space, thanks to the pivoting front and rear wheels that also have an electric motor installed in each hub. It is supposedly capable of locating and automatically parking in suitable areas that would allow the vehicle to charge, and then returning to its owner at the click of a smartphone button. The design of the car fits its futuristic concept, with bold, angular lines on the exterior and wide-paned windshields to provide impressive visibility on all sides. Inside, the driver is flanked on either side by a passenger seat, an unusual characteristic of the Pivo that's not seen in conventional cars. The doors were not left out of this sci-fi design either. They slide gracefully to the side like wings, and have the added benefit of being easy to enter and exit in tight places. While many car brands have put out similarly progressive designs, it'll be interesting to see whether the Nissan Pivo 3 or other vehicles like it will ever make it to a commercial production stage, or if they're doomed to remain mere concepts for the conceivable future.
All right, welcome back from the break. Now we have to send out special thanks to our viewers down in Addis Ababa, that is down in Ethiopia. We have a viewer called Michel Tadesse. What he did, because he loves REVVED, he decided to create for us a new filler promo. Think about it. new filler promo from Ethiopia, ladies and gentlemen. Michelle Tedese, of course, from Mag TV. Thank you very much for watching the show, and thank you very much for giving us this beautiful, beautiful piece of art. Take a look.
Tell us about Prestige Coach Works. What do you do?
Prestige was actually, I would say, a passion and a hobby that has over time evolved into a business. But initially it was just to restore our own cars, to respray our own cars. But we had a few classic cars that we had purchased that needed a complete restoration. So that's how we started off. And over a period of time, it grew, where friends, colleagues wanted their vehicles sprayed to our standard. So it grew into a business.
What vehicles have you restored?
We've restored quite a few, but one to mention is a 450 SL for a friend of ours, Wayne. And now we're doing one for another friend of ours, Jerry's. He's got a FJ40 Land Cruiser pickup. It was, I think, originally must have been bought and brought straight here, but we found it in a field, or Jerry found it in a field somewhere in Kitgum. And so we hauled it back here and started working on that one now. And we've got ourselves a 250 S-Class, one of the original, well, they were the first S-Class Mercedes made. So we've got one on the go at the moment that we're restoring. Hard work, but painstaking, but it's like you say, it's a passion and something that hopefully at the end of it will look beautiful again.
Where is your garage so that people can find you?
We're based on First Street in the industrial area. We're right next door to the governor, to Anginoa. You cannot miss us because Mintu over here decided to dissect a Volkswagen Beetle and stick half of it on a wall. So that's our signage.
It was going to be a restoration, but we found it was too far gone. And then just got up one morning and looked at it and what we're going to do with it. So we just chopped it in half and stuck it on the wall.
Mintu can do anything with a car, really can. He's got a superb brain, an engineering brain. But we've done interior works where what we do is that we can reupholster cars, but in a very professional manner. We can embroider the seats, we can work out sound systems, we can import in very, very good sound systems. So for one of our vehicles, we've actually imported in a very classic Japanese system called Nakamichi, which is not available everywhere. So it's those little quirky things that we do. Whatever the client's taste is, we can do it. If a gentleman decided he wanted a pink interior, we can do that as well.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Just like its namesake, the Ford Everest is the ultimate peak for SUVs in its range, combining modernity, practicality, and power in one dynamic vehicle. It is certainly stylish, but it manages to impress the sense of strength and durability that Ford is so well known for. The 5-cylinder diesel engine has 197 horsepower and is capable of reaching 0 to 100 kilometers in 11.6 seconds, an impressive feat for such a sturdy automobile. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission paired with electric power-assisted steering, which makes it perfect for navigating treacherous winding roads or potholes. Fuel consumption is moderately high, but normal for an SUV with a powerful engine.
All right, welcome to this week's road review here on REVVED. As we continue looking at some of the biggest machines in Kampala, we continue also focusing at some of the latest editions. This week, we have the Ford Everest. This is the 2016 edition. Beautiful machine. It's got lots of specs, and before we even talk about it, I'll tell you one thing. It's just increased the competition in that segment of cars that now are good on off and on the road. It's getting more and more competitive. And as always, we get the experts before we show you most of the specs of the car. And this week I'm joined by George Tadwong, who is of course the sales executive at Cooper Motors.
Yeah. Nice.
George, thank you very much for joining us on set.
Right.
It's a real pleasure. And thank you very much for bringing this beautiful machine. First question is, you guys in the car industry, you know about improvement from a year to the next. 2015, now this is 2016. What catches your eye first, even before we tell our dear viewer out there about what catches your eye here?
The new Ford Everest, you come with the 4-wheel drive versions. You just have a shift in the button. You don't need to engage and locking. And then you have things like stability control in this one, and then park assist and hill descent control system, which is common in most of the 4-wheel drive vehicles. But this one here is highly improved. When you drive this vehicle, you are actually stress-free.
Yeah.
Whenever, let us say, if you're driving, because most of the people are stressed during the time. When you're driving, the Ford Everest is more comfortable on the road.
Should be a good experience. 3.2, how better does the engine get now? More efficient?
Yeah, with the 3.2, because this is a turbo diesel common rail engine, so it uses the the exhaust gas. For the compression, the engine. So you find that this one here, being a 3.2 engine, you still have better fuel consumption, better economy, an average of about 10 kilometers a liter. And then you have more power and greater torque. So you are able to access any terrain you actually require.
Inside, the Everest sports deluxe leather seating for up to 7 passengers, so it's suitable for everyone, including families. Notably, the terrain management system allows the driver to take on a variety of environments with confidence and control.
All right, so we are inside the Ford Everest now. It's time for us to check out the different beautiful specs that are inside. First of all, before you get into the car, as always, check out for the safety. Now, this is a 7-seater, and it's got 7 seat belts. Each seat belt with its own airbag. That means we are very safe, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's come inside. And now what happens is with the Ford Everest is like most of the new generation cars, you've got lots of buttons on your steering wheel, which mean different things. It can be something for Bluetooth, it can be something for cruise control, it can be something for your audio controls when you're in the car. It's actually got an app through its Bluetooth on your phone that you don't really have to dial. If you're driving, you don't really have to dial someone. All you have to do is calling the name, and then to voice recognize the name, which I think is a beautiful thing. Now it's got an information display unit right in front of the steering wheel, which again most of the new high-end cars have got. On one side you've got your fuel information. The car will tell you how much fuel you're remaining with. It will also tell you how much distance is remaining compared to the fuel you have, and will get you all sorts of details. And on the other side, you've got your infotainment system on the display unit, which should tell you what jam you want to play, how you're reducing your volume, and all that kind of stuff. So all these apps are beautiful stuff, which only improves your driving experience. Now, one of the other things I like as a driver, you've got a beautiful experience with the Ford Everest, because I mean, that's the whole altering of chairs to give you a good vantage point to whoever you're driving. It's got this whole display system in the middle, which is supposed to be for your AC, your volume controls, just in case you don't want to use your steering wheel. And it's got a very big display screen here. And the display screen is of course for different reasons. You can look at your entertainment, but more importantly, in terms of reversing and on big traffic, it also helps you use your what we call the blind spot sometimes, your rear camera, just to know how this works. Let me show you how good the rear camera of a Ford Everest is. Come with me as we go behind. Can you see me, guys? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this beautiful machine on the road. What we are dealing with is 147 kilowatts, that is its horsepower. And then we're also dealing with 470 Newton meters. That is when it comes down to its torque. Let's get it on the road. Now we've just gotten off the tarmac road and gone into a slightly rough road, and we just see how this car will do. Of course, one of the things the manufacturers always focus on is the traction, because you try to make sure your car moves as smooth as it is. The traction really helps you with grip, yes, with how easily the car gets to grips with off ground. So if you get off the road, specifically for cars like these ones, which now are being made for off-road experiences as well, the traction needs always to step it. And it's doing beautiful. We're not having any skidding at any time. First of all, the noise has fully been controlled. You don't hear anything inside. All I'm hearing now is silence. These are some of the roughest roads in Kampala, and trust me, the Ford Everest doesn't seem to be having a problem. Of course, there's also the advantage of it being a really raised car, and that means part of the impact of potholes is lost within all the other apps that come through the car, like shock absorbers, the tires, the seats as well, which are very adjustable, by the way, which makes it sometimes mean that when you hit a pothole in a highly raised car like this, you don't see much. We are going up. Of course, you've got the power. I don't seem to have a problem climbing anything, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's do this. I've reached here. I want to give myself some space. Okay? And try and rev it as fast as I can. By the time I get to the end of this line, I want to see what speed I will have reached. Since now I have my screen right in front of me, which gives me all the data, I would really want to see what speed I would have covered by the time I get to the top. Let's rev it! Let's rev it! 100 is what I... Did I just hit 100 in these few seconds? I love my job, man. I love my job.
The Ford Everest is a prime example of how modern SUVs are only increasing in style, power, versatility, and luxury. With so many motor brands offering such comprehensive vehicles, it's up to us humans to wrestle with the decision of which car is best suited to us. However, some models are clearly above the huddled masses. And from what you've seen, it's easy to tell why the Everest is part of this superior bracket.
All right, thank you very, very much, guys, for joining us this week. Hope you've enjoyed the celebrity, the tips, and the car that has been on the show at this very quick. I'll see you guys next week. For now, the sun is fully out. I need to be a little bit covered, so let me rush to a petrol station, get some Shell V power into my engine, get very comfortable, and ride to wherever I'm going. See you guys next week.